Today, we're talking about the 4 different types of cost behaviors in production: fixed, variable, mixed, and stepwise costs, and how they relate to changes in production and sales. The first in our lineup, fixed costs, are costs that always stay the same, even when activity increases or decreases. Insurance is an example of a fixed cost. For example, Company A pays $5,000 in property taxes every month. This payment will remain $5,000 whether the company works every day of the week or closes over the weekend. The cost of the property taxes are fixed. While the total amount of fixed costs never changes, something cool about fixed costs is that as volume of output increases, the fixed cost per unit decreases. Let's refer back to Company A and its $5,000 property taxes. If the company only produces 1 unit, the cost per unit would be $5,000. But if they increase their output to 500 units, the fixed cost per unit would decrease to only $10 per unit. A few common examples of fixed costs are rent, insurance, property taxes, office salaries, and depreciation. A second type of cost behavior are variable costs, which are costs that change depending on the volume of activity. As the level of production and sales increase, so does the variable cost. For example, let's say in Company A, it costs $5 per unit to ship the product. If the company only produced 1 unit, the variable cost of shipping would be $5. But if Company A produced 500 units, the cost of shipping would be $2,500. In a sense, variable costs are the opposite of fixed costs because even while the total amount of a variable cost fluctuates depending on production volume, the cost per unit stays the same. Common examples of variable costs are direct materials, direct labor, shipping, packaging, and indirect materials. The third type of cost behavior is mixed costs. Like you can probably guess based on the name, mixed costs includes component of both variable and fixed costs. Company A pays a water bill each month for the factory. The water bill charges a fixed service fee of $100 plus an amount that varies depending on use each month. Like with fixed costs, a mixed cost is always greater than 0, even when the volume is 0. The factory is always paying that $100 fee no matter the usage, but like a variable cost, a mixed cost increases as the volume increases. Common examples of mixed costs includes maintenance, utilities, and sales reps. Many companies might have a set salary for sales reps, but provide commission bonuses, making it a mixed cost. The last type of cost behavior we're going to talk about is stepwise costs. A stepwise cost is a fixed cost over a relevant range of operations, but if the production volume increases, the stepwise cost will increase in a lump sum. Going back to Company A, let's say that Company A spends $10,000 on rent for their warehouse. The company starts to do amazing, and their production volume increases so much that they have to rent out an additional warehouse for another $10,000 per month. This new rent would be a stepwise cost because instead of increasing gradually over time, money spent on rent would jump up in one lump sum. The rent would be a fixed cost over a relevant range of operation, so when graphed, the rent line would be flat. The addition of the new rent causes the cost to jump up in a lump sum and starts a new relevant range of operation. On a graph, this would create a stair-like image, which is how we get the term stepwise costs. Some examples include adding or dropping shifts for workers and adding or dropping production lines. That's it for fixed, variable, mixed, and stepwise costs. If you're ever confused, just remember that fixed stays the same. Variable changes. Mixed also changes, but always has a base cost. And stepwise stays the same until it has a massive change, and then stays the same again. Wait, maybe that was more confusing. I think I have to watch this video again.